Hello and welcome. Spyro, yeah. We know. But anyways, yeah, we're back. We did that specific level last time. There are more levels, in fact, that we need to do, therefore, let's do them. So over here we have, we have the level of, I have to talk to him.
Well, it's...
Again. Cloud Temples. Okay. You know, sometimes I go on this brilliant website called Moby Games. You can read reviews there for games and, like, generally stuff about them. It's a really good repository for, like, information on games. Especially older ones, which are a lot harder to, you know, discover. I found a user review of Shadow of the Colossus that gave it a 2 out of 5. And the reason for the 2 out of 5...
I used to be one of Avalar's most powerful magicians.
Okay, until that big warlock stole was warned. Okay. The 2 out of 5, if you're wondering if it's, you know, a deserved review, the answer is no. That the map is big, and that makes traversal not as fast. That, the game has quote-unquote bad acting, and, that the game has no story, and therefore, you know, he just can't get into a game with no story. And I find that really funny, because you can click on his account and see his other reviews, and, he gave the Microsoft, Windows 2000 included games, like, you know, Minesweeper and such, he gave that a 3 out of 5. Which, makes you wonder if that was a, you know... How did he come up with that stuff? Now, of course, some of you may suggest such ludicrous things as, the guy may just be a troll, but he's made so many different reviews that I have to disagree. Purely because I don't believe, like... It's the Harlan Smith thing, I guess, right? Where you would hope the guy is a troll because you feel secondhand embarrassment knowing somebody like that would actually be for real. I mean, obviously, maybe it's just like bad video game takes or whatever, but you know, it's like, I don't know, man. I just, you'd want him to be a troll because bad video game taste can be funny, but you know, it's sometimes you're like, wow, people like this really do exist. And to be clear, I'm not equating this specific user with Harlan. Obviously not. I'm just saying, you know, bad video game takes come in all shapes and sizes. Though, to be fair, it is kind of funny that I have more, like, my stupid channel has more subs than his. And he's been making videos for longer, and he's made way more of them. But if there's anything which takes less effort than, what I do, well, I'm talking, you know, specifically about the, Let's Plays, not the actually research stuff I do, you know? If there's anything which takes less effort than a Let's Play, it's, him making videos, talking into a camera, and just saying dumb stuff. And it's one of those things where I'm not... Like, some of the arguments that he makes, I don't know, man, it's somewhere on the border of what I would say as a joke, but I don't know. How would you continue the bit for so long? You know, like, surely it gets boring after a while. Yeah, man, I don't know. I remember there was this one example from someone made like a compilation sort of thing of all the just generally stupid shit, and one of them was like, well, the PC doesn't have Unicorn Overlord for like an example of a like game that just isn't on PC. Which, yeah, weirdly enough, Unicorn Overlord is like on Xbox, on PlayStation, on Nintendo Switch, not on PC for some reason. I don't know why. Blame Atlas and Vanillaway. Yeah. Seriously though, it's kind of weird. Like, I kind of understand if a game is like only on PlayStation and Switch, or like only on PlayStation or only on Switch, but it being also on Xbox but not on PC is just like kind of weird. I wonder what decisions made that happen, because decisions definitely did happen. Hello.
Our bell tower.
Yeah, I'll fix it. Let me just get a few more kills. Okay, well, he's dead. Is that the exit over there already? Huh. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what's funny is in recent times, a lot of the fanboy stuff has kind of moved away from dedicated YouTubers to just, like, internet stuff, like, you know, Twitter and such. I do miss the times, you know, back in the day when we had, like, dedicated hyper fanboy YouTubers. Just, like, people who would argue over this sort of stuff all the time.
Spyro, you have...
Like, you would have, YouTubers whose entire thing was, if you made a, like, video talking shit about their Scrimbly, oh, buddy, you're gonna get a video made on you. And was that better than how it is today? Probably not. I would assume things are better today than they were previously. But I can't not feel like a little bit of like something was lost.
Our mystical...
Okay. Super Friends? Oh. Oh, I see, I see. Okay, that's actually a decent minigame thing. But yeah, like, it's one of those things, I guess. It's difficult to explain because there's no, like, modern equivalent of it. But there's definitely something to be said about how, like, these days, fanboyism is a lot less, I don't want to say popular. How do we... I guess just being a very loud fanboy, you know, isn't as popular as it once was. And, like, to be clear, there is some good that comes out of that because, you know, generally speaking, fanboys can be quite insufferable. But also, like, you know, part of me feels like something is kind of lost in the transition, you know? Because so much I'm trying to talk while platforming, and it is not going well for me. But yeah, like, you know, sometimes I feel like...
I suppose you wanted...
You wanted an orb for doing that. There's still one bell left. Huh. Bastard. But yeah, like... As much of a fan as I am of, like, old YouTube, a big part of that is just because it felt more genuine in a way. But the fact that things were more genuine isn't always necessarily positive. Because sometimes, like, yeah, I mean, sure, people were more genuine, it's just a lot of trolls also existed who, Ha! Oh my god. You know, a lot of shit. Trolls also existed who, you know,
Thanks, Spyro.
lived off of the concept of, you know, bullying people for their beliefs. And I guess also another thing is that trolling used to be less, like, generally internet rage bait was harder to discover, or like harder to figure out. So it was just more interesting because you had people who would unironically, genuinely seem to have, like, wacko opinions in video games, right? But as it would turn out...
This time...
I'll deal with you later, buddy. You know, but as it would turn out, eventually a lot of that stuff was kind of discovered to be rage bait. Sometimes people argue over if, stuff like... I forget who made it, but there was this one guy who made, like, you know, it's where the phrase hot chick heaven comes from, if, that makes sense.
I'm not...
Okay, unless you wait behind the tree. Wait behind the tree, follow... Okay.
This time I'm not...
Okay. So do I have to hide behind him? Ah, fuck. Okay, this is stupid. Okay, sure, whatever.
I'm not...
But yeah, like, genuinely, I don't know, it's one of those things where... And you just don't know how many of these people are, like, genuine trolls versus, like, you know, just people who have... Well, ah, fuck. You know, versus people who just have dog shit opinions. And I guess to some degree it doesn't matter. Because, like, regardless, they're going to have bad opinions and, like, you know, back in the day, it didn't matter if they were genuine or not. Ah, fuck! I wasn't fast enough. Okay, yeah. Oops. Okay, I also can't be too close up behind him. Okay. But yeah, like, I don't know. Because if I was, you know, making videos back in the day, I would obviously not be capable of making them, because I would have, you know, definitely not been old enough to, like, properly grasp a lot of the stuff you kind of needed to make the kinds of stuff that I was thinking about making. Which would honestly not be too far from the kinds of, like, edited videos I make now, just with, obviously, you know, just without a lot of the homebrew knowledge. What? I was behind the tree! But yeah, like... that's kind of, you know, it's sort of like the question of, oh, if you went back to like 2000 and whatever, would you be able to, like, you know, cash in on specific economic bubbles before they burst? And it's like, well, no, I would have been a child with no income. But if I went back with my, no, fuck.
This time.
Anyways, as I was saying, I don't know. Keep pressing the wrong button.
This time.
I was thinking about this because I think it's kind of funny. Specifically, like if I made videos back in the day, I would so definitely make videos in, like, console war stuff, even more than I already do, I guess, technically. Because it's not really, like, you know, the console wars are dead. Some small amounts of fanboys care about, you know, consoles, but really, nah, not anymore, not as much. And if you make videos on that, you're gonna get, like, late millennial, like, you know, late or early millennials and Gen X's making videos on, like, not making videos, leaving comments talking about how, like, wrong you are.
What?
You managed to follow me all the way up here? Well, I guess I have no other choice than give you the orb. Okay, good. So now all we have to do is, get the gems. Seriously, though, like, I don't know. I feel like... And it's a question, again, of would some of it be... Because back in the day, you know, standards were lower, and you could just generally get away with saying a lot more bullshit. I mean, hell, the AVGN, for as cool as his old videos were, and let's just say accuracy was not on the menu. Wait, there's something up there. You know, like, you had AVGN videos that have aged like ass because he just said stuff which weren't that true about them. You know, some games end up being on the worst ever lists purely because the AVGN talked about them. And then, no, there's nothing up there, okay. And then when somebody else was making, you know, a video of their own, they just copied the AVGN, because of course you do. So it really just, it's really, you know, just kind of a whatever sort of thing. But if I could get away with it, I would have definitely made my biases more clear. And for those who don't know my biases, I like it when my screen is clear. I do not... Wait, I have an idea. You know, I do not like when my screen is loaded with Vaseline. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Is it gonna be... There's something over there, isn't there? There is! Stop. What is here? Aha! Come on. Wow, I wonder what it's gonna hit. No way! May it be the 400 we need? Nope. I bet you there's, like, a single 2-gem somewhere that I missed. Correct? Yeah, correct. It's somewhere over there. Hmm? If I do this, come on, come on. How is it over there? Look, if I do this, it tells me it's... I'm stupid. Ripto, where is it? Okay. I see the gem! Oh my god, I see the gem. Okay, take me out of here. Okay. We're gonna zap him into the... Well, into the shaft? No, into a creature. I thought he was just gonna punch him off the edge. Uh-oh. Anyways, yeah, as I was saying, man, I don't know. Because I am very clearly a fan of, because the thing is, right, I can only hold up my personal biases so far from the videos where, like... Because, I mean, they're kind of obvious in a sense, but I also kind of find it interesting, you know, biases in media can kind of also have value. Not necessarily with the bias itself, but more like what the bias can tell you, both about, you know, the person and generally a community which forms around a bias. So, like, specifically, you know, a lot of Nintendo fans are very clearly, you know, specifically I'm talking, like, you know, the kinds of people who will only play Nintendo stuff and nothing else. Like, very clearly, their bias towards Nintendo still comes from somewhere, and it comes from the fact that, well, even if Nintendo makes a game that isn't, you know, even the Nintendo games that are, like, big disappointments generally aren't that bad. I mean, sure, there's Mario Tennis Aces, or whatever, or, let's do this one next. Or there's, fuck, what's the game called? I forgot. Chibi Robo Ziplash, or, like, Amiibo Festival? Like, yeah, shit, those are kind of shitty. But, like, at least Chibi Robo Ziplash is, like, a really Chibi Robo Ziplash is a really mediocre fucking game. It's not very good. It's not that bad either. Oh, he's fucked. Anyways, you got that. And then, like, fucking, like, take the Paper Mario series, right? Howdy, find your way over there. Yeah, whatever. Let's go. Like, you got fucking, you know, the Paper Mario series that was kind of treated maybe a little bit like shit. But you have... Oh, wait, can I? Like, shit, you have, Super Paper Mario that was kind of... I know this is sacrilegious to say for some people, and other people are always, you know, finally, you know, finally someone said it, which is, I'm pretty sure, on the, like, a commented bingo card, but, like, if you got this far into the video, just type in all caps, finally someone said it. I think it'd be funny. That's the one thing which gets me to comment when I leave a comment. It's, well, obviously if I have something interesting to say, I'll comment as well, but, you know, I don't know, that kinda... I don't know, just doing it ironically. I don't know, maybe it's, my stupid kind of humor. But genuinely, though, like, you know, Super Paper Mario is, like, kind of a spin-off. I don't like it because it doesn't feel like Paper Mario to me, you know? It's not, it's like a 2D platformer with some Paper Mario elements more than it is, like, an actual Paper Mario game. and I don't like it. Then there was, like, Sticker Star, which had a lot of the bad stuff from... basically my gripe is that I think that Sticker Star is at least conceptually... Like, at least conceptually, the game is kind of cool. Sadly, like, it falls apart in so many ways, but at least, like, a lot of the stuff in it is interesting enough to me where I would want to see it through to the end, you know? I guess it's kind of like, you know, people talk about how you don't gain anything from battles except coins, and you use coins to battle, so there's no point in battling, which is true. But, like, fuck it, I'm a sucker for that sort of stuff. I'm sorry. I'm not exactly, you know... I'm not gonna pretend like I don't have a bias, everybody does, but... My main gripe is more with the fact that a lot of the problems that people like to give to Sticker Star came out in Color Splash. And then, came out in Super. And then Color Splash fixed a lot of the problems to where it by itself is a pretty decent game. Obviously, you know, it's not perfect. It has problems, which is basically an excuse. I mean, you've seen this. I don't want to go too far into this topic because I want to go back to the original stuff I was saying, but I've seen YouTubers try to, like, appeal to whatever they think the common opinion is while still interleaving their opinion in a way where they say, like, oh, this game is, you know, if a game is bad, but they really like it, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, this game is good, but it just has some problems, and then they'll just try to list all the problems and say 5 out of 10 or whatever, right? Or if they really don't like a game which other people like, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, this game is a true classic, truly incredible. However, I did find some rough points in it, you know? I was really thinking I was gonna do something with that. Wait, can I hit that thing up there? Nope. We'll see what that was later. I don't know. But back to the original topic, Nintendo doesn't really, you know, make that many bad games. Like, compare Nintendo to, like, Sega. Well, I guess, if you're into fully redesigning Sonic, Sega, but, like, Sega has, specifically with Sonic, made so many bad Sonic games. Like, is there a point in trying to list them all? Like, you got Sonic 06, which is, like, the bad video game. If there's a bad video game list, you know, top 10 bad games of all time, chances are it's gonna be, like, really high up there next to, fucking Big Rigs Over the Road Racing and, that one motorcycle game. Fuck, what's it called again? It's like, yeah, Right to Hell Retribution. And it's funny, isn't it, right? To me it is. To me, like, the funny thing is that, like, for as much deserved shit as 06 and, you know, again, as 06 and the fucking Right to Hell Retribution game get, you know, because they're bad, they're still, like, games. You can still play them. I can imagine someone who had the game as a kid would have played it and thought, wow, it's fun, you know, because they wouldn't have maybe the context of other games. And yet I don't feel like, you know, it's very rare we get a game as obviously, like, blatantly just not a video game as Big Rigs. Yeah. As I was saying earlier, though, like, the thing with bias is, you know, it all kind of starts to add up, right? Where if a bunch of people have the same bias, eventually, you're gonna be able to start making some, you know, analyses of the biases, you know? Like, for instance, you know, a lot of people like Nintendo games. Well, what is it with Nintendo games that people like? I mean, you know, a lot of people just don't like, you know, PlayStation. Why? Or like with Xbox or whatever. And obviously it's all, you know, it's all biased, but it's also all like something you can work with. But yeah, if I was designing, if I was making videos back in the day, ooh, you would love to see the kinds of stuff I would come up with. Generally, my big idea is, I would just make videos that are like, well, because back in the day there was a 10-minute limit, right? So my idea would be, because I thought about this just because, like, okay, well, what did you do with the lower limit? I would probably keep making, why are they back? Like, I would make videos that are like, you know, PS1 versus N64, N64 versus Saturn, that sort of stuff. But, I would definitely, like, I don't want to say put more bias into it, but I would be maybe a little bit... Oh my god. I would definitely, like, have a less of a filter, I guess, you know? Because obviously... I don't know how... Actually, I don't know how obvious it is. But when I talk about that sort of stuff... wait, does it stop when you get too far away? I don't know, man. Okay, hold on. How did you get them? Well, we got one. This is the shit that, like, makes me so mad. Because if you go in the wrong direction... Okay, it doesn't reset here. Finally, there we go. Okay. How close are we to finishing the level? Not even halfway, so join me next time when we continue the level. See you then. Goodbye. And I'll continue the story, okay? How about that? See you then. Bye-bye.